Last week, the Bobcats took a step backwards, losing to Northern Arizona and dropping out of first place in the Big Sky Conference. Today, the Cats try to get back on track against Northern Colorado. It's next on Bobcat Game Day. From Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman, this is Bobcat Game Day. This afternoon, the Cats of Montana State play host to the Bears from Northern Colorado. Hi again, everyone. I'm Chris Byers along with Mike Callahan. And Mike, there's no other way around it. Montana State coming off by far their worst performance of the season against Northern Arizona.
Yeah, nothing went right at NAU. They've got to bounce back today.
All right, now this Northern Colorado team is another team in the Big Sky Conference that gets better year after year after year. We saw it with Sacramento State. I think we're going to see it again today, a much improved Northern Colorado team. And what drives the bus for this team on offense, a very talented running back.
6 foot, 220-pound senior running back Andre Harris is a big part of everything that Northern Colorado does on offense. Comes in today as the second leading scorer in the Big Sky, rushed for 7 TDs, got another one through the air. Look for him to get the ball early and often.
Montana State defense certainly will be tested by that Northern Colorado offense. Now, speaking of the Montana State defense, they have given up a lot of points and a lot of yards over the last 3 weeks, but to be fair, there have been wholesale changes defensively across the board for this Montana State team.
Yeah, lots of injuries on that defense, but more importantly, injuries to key personnel. As a result, as you said, they've surrendered nearly 1,500 yards of total offense the last 3 games. In order to bounce back today, they're going to need some big performances from some young backups, including true freshman cornerback Sean Gords.
All right, so Northern Colorado and Montana State set to go this afternoon. Now, let's go to the keys of the game. Let's go down on the field and say hello to A.J. Donatoni. Hi, A.J.
Hello, Chris and Mike. Another beautiful day for football here in Bozeman. Another nice day. Might get overcast a little bit later for the time being. It's sunny for this ever-important game for the Cats of Montana State as they host Northern Colorado. These are the keys, and we'll start with the visiting Bears. And right away, take notes if you're Northern Colorado, and that means take a look at the game film from last week. I'm sure the Bears broke it down extensively because Northern Arizona really got the book out of how to beat Montana State, so maybe Northern Colorado will use a similar game plan. Number 2, get the wide receivers involved. Jace Davis and Patrick Walker are 2 of the better top 2 receivers in the Big Sky Conference, and as long as they're going to get the ball today, Northern Colorado will be able to move the ball pretty well. Finally, it's a Jekyll or Hyde situation with this Bears team. Some weeks they've been able to show up, others they haven't been so great. They're coming off a very good performance against Eastern Washington. We'll see if they're able to carry that over to Bozeman against the Cats. Speaking of Montana State, here are their keys to today's game. And number 1, peace of mind. That's a Boston song, and that's what Montana State needs to have today. They're coming off their worst performance of the season, like you, Chris, and Mike said, and they have to make sure they're able to bounce back at home in front of their home crowd. Number 2, ground and pound. They have to be able to get the running game going today. One reason they weren't able to move the football last week, C.J. Palmer and Lorenzo Davis didn't get involved enough early on, so MSU is going to have to make sure they get the ground game going right away. And then finally, big plays with a question mark, because that's the thing that MSU has done a great job of this year, is using the big play not only on offense but defense as well to make sure that they're able to get the ball downfield or make a big stop. That was absent last week against the Lumberjacks. That's something they have to rely on if they want to be able to get on top of Northern Colorado early. It's another great day for football, and we have football coming up right after this break. It's the Cats of Montana State hosting the Northern Colorado Bears. We'll be right back with the kickoff on Bobcat Game Day.
Welcome back to Bobcat Stadium, and the start of today's game is Montana State out on the field and ready to take on the Bears from Northern Colorado. A simply gorgeous afternoon in the Gallatin Valley, and Mike, we have been blessed with great weather all season long. You've got another good one today. Coaching comparisons, Rob Ash, 31st season, 201 wins overall. Scott Downing in his 7th season now, 21-26 with a tie for Northern Colorado. Winning 9 of the 15 games played. They're 6 up, 6 down when playing in Greeley. Montana State won the toss, deferred. They'll get the ball to start the second half. Northern Colorado will get the football to start the game. And we mentioned this in the pregame as we take a look at game time temperature, a very pleasant 53 degrees, very little wind under sunny skies here at Bobcat Stadium. Jason Cunningham set to kick off. Take a look at today's official.
Last week with Eastern Washington.
Cunningham's kick is high and deep, and this one sails out of the back of the end zone. So Northern Colorado will have it 1st and 10 for the 20-yard line. Bears coming off a very tough loss at Eastern Washington last week, and the quarterback is Dylan Orms. So first down for the Bears to start the game from the 20-yard line, just underway here at Bobcat Stadium. Orms, straight drop, fires out there, batted at the line of scrimmage, incomplete pass, brings up 2nd down. Let's take a look at this Montana State defense, which has seen wholesale changes this year. Ogden Minter, Jason D'Alba, John Ledette are up front. Grosselach stays in the middle along with Jody Owens and Roger Trammell. And in the backfield, it's Jones, Cosme Pico, Michael Ryder, the safety, and Sean Gorge, the true freshman, gets the start for Arnold Briggs. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. Opening drive from the 20-yard line. They'll stay on the ground, and not much there, as they'll fall forward and maybe pick up 3 on the play as Harris gets the call for the first time today.
When Ledette came up nicely that time. We've seen AJ mention in the open about taking notes. Were they going to come out, Northern Colorado that is, and try and do some of the same things that NAU had success doing last week? And we have seen it already. They wanted to start out with that short passing game, and then what we've seen it already as adjustment from MSU. On 2nd down, they rolled everybody up on the line of scrimmage.
Orms looking at 3rd down. He operates out of the gun. Orms fires out to his right, has a man, that's Harris. Harris up over the 30 and a first down to the 32-yard line. Nice 3rd down conversion. Let's talk a little bit about Northern Colorado.
The things that they will do today, they like to get Harris not only rushing the ball, but out of the backfield on that little release. You can see it worked for him there on that 3rd down conversion.
So a fresh set of downs. Orms drops back, surveys the field's going to go long and deep, has a man out there at the 20-yard line, but a great play by Cosme Pico to break it up. That was intended for wide receiver Patrick Walker, who had a step on the Bobcat secondary, but Cosme Pico at the last minute knocks it down.
Boy, this one, yeah, he is beat. He's got a couple of steps on him, but is able to close. The ball just thrown a little bit short, which allowed Cosme Pico to get up and bat that thing down.
Filling in at strong safety today, he is in for Jordan Craney. We may see Craney today. 2nd down. Here's Harris. He's met right at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Michael Ryder comes up from his safety position and makes a great open field tackle.
Well, this defense has been beat like a drum the last 3 weeks, and what I really like about what they're doing already today is we see Ryder come up and get some help on the inside with Grosselach. They are playing much more aggressively, Chris. They're crowding the line of scrimmage on the outside, and everybody is flying upfield. I think that's what you got to do. They got to get off their heels and quit waiting for that next big play to happen against them, and just go up and start playing aggressive football and have a little bit more fun.
3rd and 9 from the 35. Bobcats show blitz. Here comes Grosselach. Flags fly, and we'll see what they call. They're going to flag Northern Colorado.
Ball start. Number 65 on the offense. 5 yards, the down remains 3.
Kind of hard to slow down when you get that load moving one way, right? 3rd and 14 from the 30 for the Bears in this opening drive. Here's Orms, little draw play to Harris. He's met behind the line of scrimmage and taken down at Montana State. Good defensive series there. I think Schreibeis in on the stop, and it'll bring up 4th down.
This is just huge for that MSU defense to go out and get a stop. They did allow the 1 first down, but you can see they're playing with some emotion today. There's a little more fire than we've seen the last few weeks from them. So big start for a defense that has been much maligned in the last 3 weeks, to say the least, to go out and get an early stop against that Northern Colorado offense.
Cameron Kamen back to punt as he stands inside his 15-yard line. Elvis Aquila back to receive. Kamen's punt comes down at the 35. Aquila calls for the fair catch and makes it. And Montana State will have the football for the first time this afternoon as we take a look at the Montana State offense. There's that front line led by Mike Person. He's been the one guy they've been able to count on all season long. He's back in there starting today. Julius Lloyd, Akpla, and Gilbert, the wideouts. Kyle Beggar, the tight end. Lorenzo Davis gets the start at running back. And, of course, Denarius McGee gets the start at quarterback for Montana State, coming off a tough performance last week against the Lumberjacks of NAU. But on the season, he's been sensational. 14 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. First play for Montana State on offense, McGee flips the little short catch to Kyle Beggar, and Beggar all the way up to midfield and a first down. Nicely designed play. They ran Akpla deep, ran Beggar underneath for the first down catch. Let's take a look at the defense now for Northern Colorado. For Montana State, he'll stay on the ground. This is C.J. Palmer, and Palmer with some nice running down inside the 40. This was something, Mike, you and I talked about. Northern Colorado gives up a lot of yards on the ground. Montana State really wanting to establish that running game.
Yeah, they come in as the 8th defensive rushing team in the Big Sky. And you've got to think, if you're Montana State, you want to get that rushing game going early, keep that defense off the field a little bit.
Palmer averaging just over 6 yards a carry this season. Oh, McGee faked everyone out on the handoff. Keeps the football and takes it down to the 25-yard line and a first down.
Well, again, we heard some more talk about the injury to Denarius McGee's foot this week, and he did miss some practice time, but here they're clearly showing a lot of confidence. He fakes a give inside, just a huge hole, gets this upfield, and most importantly, protects the football.
Sold it well, didn't he? You see the numbers on McGee, close to 200 yards rushing for the freshman quarterback. Gain is down to the 25 on a first down for the Bobcats on the opening drive of the game. Here's McGee, hits a wide open Elvis Akpla. Now does a little move and gets inside the 20 to the 15, and that's close to another first down. I'll tell you, Mike, when these guys catch the football, you better be ready for some form tackling because they can make you miss.
Yeah, you can see, you can just get flat embarrassed out in the open field against any of these Bobcat receivers. But here, a nice move. You see Akpla gets up, and it's, 6-7 yards after the catch.
Well, and Brandon Owens played him perfectly. He stayed in front of him, let him make his move, but Akla's so quick, he beat him to the corner and picked up 9 on the play. So 2nd and 1 now from the 16. Impressive opening drive for Montana State. Beggar now comes into the backfield, and Lorenzo Davis trips and falls behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a couple on the play. It sets up 3rd down. So brings up 3rd and 2 from the 17. 5 receiver set in this offense. 3 split to the left and 2 to the right. Empty backfield for McGee out of the gun on 3rd down. Looks left, looks right, and now fumbles the football. And this is going to be fallen on by Northern Colorado. They get the first break of the game as John Eddy, the linebacker, recovers the fumble, and the Bears have it.
Well, a huge play for that defense. They were giving up yards in bunches, but here you see McGee go back. The push comes up the middle. The ball comes out, and they get on it. Amazing ability that they've had to do this year. They lead all of the FCS in fumble recoveries. They are the 3rd. They're 13th on the season already.
And turn the Bobcats away. This time they'll stay on the ground, little end around and some running room. Mike Ryder with the push out of bounds, but not before Chase Davis, the wide receiver, picks up good yardage. Up their outstanding performance last week against Eastern Washington, where they lost 35-28, but the Eagles, a great program in the Big Sky, and they had them on the ropes for much of that game. So gain of 5, 2nd and 5 from the 38. This time they'll stay with Harris, and Harris is taken down for a short gain. And again, Montana State defense, a nice job of closing in on the leading rusher.
Outside backer number 23. Watch Jody Owens find his run fit as this goes to the left side of your screen, and he is what every good linebacker needs to do. He doesn't wait for that ball to come. When he sees particularly play his side, he's getting upfield in his gap, allowing him to pick the big tackle for the loss.
There's the numbers on Harris, 428 yards and 7 touchdowns, averaging 4.5 per game. So another big 3rd down play here for the Bears, 3rd and 6. And now again, movement.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76, 5 yards, the down remains 3.
Well,
3rd and 11 from the 32. And here's Orms now. He's going to operate out of the gun in an empty backfield. 5 receiver set. Bobcats show blitz. Here comes Owens up the middle. They throw the screen, it's completed. This is going to be a first down and then some. Northern Colorado to the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown Harris, and Northern Colorado read it perfectly and scored the touchdown. That was Chase Davis, the wide receiver, who just ran the little screen.
Yeah, the perfect call that time, and I mentioned earlier MSU being much more aggressive. That time, 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and with the perfect call coming underneath, and there's just nobody left in that secondary. If you can get that thing off, when you load the box like that, you've got to get pressure, and just an excellent play call by Northern Colorado.
Boy, they read it exactly right, didn't they? Montana State coming with the blitz up the middle. They just ran the little screen pass to the wide receiver, Davis, and he had smooth sailing after the catch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, indicating this is against Montana State.
Substitution infraction on the defense. We had 12 players lined up on the play. Half the distance, 1 untimed down.
So Dave Eden on for the extra point. Ball down, kick on the way, and good. So with 8:15 to go in the...
Northern Colorado able to capitalize quickly.
Mason Puckett kicks it to Gilbert, who fields it inside the 10. Hills Gilbert up over the 20 to the 25, hit hard at the 27-yard line. But Montana State with good field position to start the second drive of the afternoon. And keep in mind, they had a nice opening drive, Mike, and then turned the ball over on the Denarius McGee fumble.
Yeah, you can
in the opening quarter. McGee lines up under center this time on first down, and the give is to Davis. Davis going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he will lose big yardage. Boy, for a team that gives up a lot of yardage on the ground, that was a great play by Corey Askew, the corner, who comes up and makes a great tackle.
Yeah, you can see, look at it, starts with number 97, defensive end Nick Herndon, who pushes that thing up, and then Davis makes probably a poor decision and not just, taking that short loss and trying to turn it back, get some more yardage, but he was going the wrong direction on that, Christmas. It's going to be a long 2nd and 20. 18.
Davis, of course, the leading rusher for Montana State coming into this game. But nothing doing that time. Here's McGee, looks across the middle, has a man, Tanner Bleskin at the 40. Bleskin bounces off tackles and down inside the 50-yard line. That's just a good, tough catch and run by the freshman from Great Falls CMR.
Well, this all do that and have that vision and give him that much time. 9 times out of 10, he is going to make a defense pay.
Cruz Seawing checks into the game at wide receiver for Montana State on first down midway through the opening quarter. They put Gilbert now into the backfield for McGee. He gets the football. Here's Gilbert trying to get to the corner, cuts up inside of the 40, breaks a tackle to the 35 and close to another first down. Good running by Everett Gilbert. He'll be about a half-yard short of the first down.
Wow, great running, but look at the blocking on the left side. You can see it, 57, Casey Dennehy, 72, Mike Person. They have got those guys locked up. Gilbert does a good job of finding the seam and busting that upfield, but boy, again, it all starts on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and short, less than a yard. Ball at the 36-yard line. You think maybe take a strike right now, take one deep right now? Give it a shot. We'll see what they come up with, and the give is going to be to Davis. Davis has the first down and then some, and he takes a huge hit at the 30-yard line.
Hey, coming up and finishing, wow. That is one of 3 preseason all-conference picks. This is their 4-year starter, number 2, Askew, that comes up, and boy, that looked like helmet to helmet to me, but I still haven't evolved yet, Chris. That just used to be great football, and it's still in my mind, that's the way I see it. So, boy, great hit, great finish that time, but nonetheless, another first down for MSU.
You were a linebacker, right? Okay, first down. Davis comes right back to him again, and this time wrapped up and shut down.
Category today.
2nd and 10. Palmer tries to cut up inside, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. And once again, very nice job by Northern Colorado to shut things down as they go to Marcel Gibbons, who comes up from a safety spot to make the tackle.
Yeah, blocks pretty well along the line of scrimmage, but just hesitates there because that corner, as you said, Gibbons came up, set the edge, made the nice open field tackle.
3rd and 10 from the 29. There's the numbers on CJ. He has 4 touchdowns. Here's McGee, operates out of the gun, rolls right, pressure up the middle, now throws back, has a man wide open, that's Palmer. Palmer to the 20, to the 15, makes a move down inside the 10, and a first down. That was a beautifully designed play as everyone went to the right, Mike. They throw back to Palmer, and Palmer with an easy first down
Well,
run.
we've already seen Northern Colorado's success in bringing that back out of the backfield. Here, it's MSU's turn as they sneak CJ away from the formation. But boy, again, I'm starting to sound like a cheerleader for that offensive line.
Yeah.
But left guard Casey Dennehy was out there, just made a beautiful block to spring Palmer upfield.
Big assist to Dennehy on that one. First and goal now from the 8-yard line. Bobcats trying to tie the game. They stay on the ground of Palmer. Palmer gets maybe a yard, and he's met by that front wall, that Northern Colorado defensive front, doing a nice job.
Nothing 70. He just ate everybody up in the middle of that defense that time. He's a guy who spent his first 3 years at the University of Wyoming, transferring just this last year, and boy, he is a, you can see why they've been so productive in the linebacker play of Eddie and King, because they got a huge people eater right there in the middle.
He might need to go to a little larger jersey there. It took him a while to get stuffed into that
tight
one.
These days, Chris. You don't want to be held.
Here's McGee with the quarterback keeper. And again, brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Not much there.
That was John Eddy, number 96, their linebacker. He comes in and really is their production guy in the middle of this thing. Like we said, he's got the good front in front of him, but that time does a nice job, and it's 3rd and goal in the red zone for Montana State.
23 tackles, solo tackles for Eddie. He's by far the team leader in that category,
Well,
66 overall.
He's another one of their preseason All Big Sky players. Yeah, 66 tackles, 4.5 for loss. We spoke with their SID before this, and she said he's their big guy. He's the flashy guy that makes the big plays, and he did there.
3rd and 9, and McGee will be taken down for a loss. And I think that's Eddie again. It is.
Well, on cue that time, and that's one of the things this time we talk about. He's the middle linebacker, but he was a defensive end, so they'll put him on the line of scrimmage as they did on that play, down in a stance, and allow him to come and bring the rush. And boy, he's shown some real versatility on that defensive unit today.
So Jason Cunningham on to kick the field goal. This will be from 32 yards out, straight away. As they try to salvage the field goal, Cunningham's kick is on the way, got plenty of distance, and it's good. So with 2:09 to go in the opening quarter, the Bobcats get on the board for the first time. They trail Northern Colorado 7-3. We'll be back after these words from your local stations. The value of special teams play. How about Jason Cunningham this year?
Well,
nearly perfect.
As we look at number 10 right there, Dominic, there is a guy who is extremely dangerous, and if you can get a touchback here and keep him without a return, that is just an absolutely fantastic weapon. As you see, again, that one not into the end zone, but out of the end zone.
Let's go down on the field and check in with A.J. Donatoni.
Guys, Denarius McGee has accepted all the blame for the offensive struggles, especially last week against Northern Arizona. Didn't blame the line, didn't blame the coaches or the wide receivers. He said it all comes back to him. He said he was finding open guys downfield all day. He just wasn't getting it to them, and he says he's going to do everything he can to turn it around. So far, he did have a tough turnover, but he got the team down, got the points on the board, and maybe that'll continue here today. Guys?
Thanks, A.J. So Northern Colorado has the football and the lead. They stay on the ground to Harris. Harris met right at the line of scrimmage. A couple of yards on the gain, 2nd down.
Well, again, Jody Owens, the first guy making that contact. And when you have an outside linebacker with a true run read that is making contact on the other side of the line of scrimmage, that is really a good sign that your defense is not only comfortable with their assignments, but they're willing to trust those reads and get upfield quickly.
There's Coach Downing trying to turn this program around down in Greeley. Of course, longtime assistant coach under Joe Tiller at both Wyoming and Purdue. And here's Orms. Orms is going to look long and deep. Man out there, and this is underthrown. No chance to catch that. We talked about Downing and what he's trying to do at Greeley. And
he did renew a few old acquaintances last night. I'm sure he got to see a few Bobcat fans as well.
So the Bears face yet another 3rd down from the 22-yard line. Here's Orms out of the gun. Now pulls it down and tries to run, but he's going to be taken down, and nothing doing as the big man, Dan Ogden, with the open field tackle, brings up 4th down, and the Bears will punt.
That's what we're used to seeing out of that big 9-0. He just comes up the middle. He's got a hand in his face. He doesn't care. He's going to go make a play, and that's what this defense needs to do. Is you see him spin off there and able to corral Orms that time. But hey, something else good in that Montana State defense, if you are an MSU fan, is Jordan Craney, who has been out, played that whole series at safety.
Okay, so the Bears forced to punt. Kamen stands inside his 10, low snap, end over end kick, gets a good roll, and here's Elvis Akplode, fields it at the 30. Elvis up to the 35-yard line. And that's where Montana State will have it when we come back. 34 ticks to go, opening quarter in a 7-3 game. Bobcats trying to bounce back from that loss to Northern Arizona last week at the Walk-Up Sky Dome. Here's McGee, now operates out of the gun on 1st down. Looks left, throws out there, has a man who's hit immediately. Believe that was Bleskin who makes the catch at the 40-yard line, so a gain of 4.
Nice job on Bleskin's part to hold on to that one as he took the big hit from number 9 Brandon Owens coming up the field. 2 catches for him today. Nice to see the freshman getting some work early.
You see in Missoula, Montana leads Northern Arizona 7-0 in the 1st quarter. That is a big game for both those teams. Here's McGee, who gives it to Davis. Davis hit right at the line of scrimmage, falls forward. They may give him one on the play, and that is the final play of the 1st quarter. 15 minutes of football in the books at Bobcat Stadium. And
those are guys that have called a few ball games in their time. I'll tell you, Sonny Holland, wow. If there's a guy that personifies MSU football, it's him. He was a champion as a coach, he was a champion as a player, and has been a great ambassador not only for MSU football but for the whole university.
Tanner Bleskin picks up the 1st down for Montana State on a nice play by Denarius McGee. Well, you're exactly right. You talked about Sonny Holland being a member of that NAI National Championship team, coached the 76 team, which won the national championship as well. And of course, he's done an awful lot for Montana State. And then Joe Tiller, watching his pupil down there, Scott Downing, who followed him from Wyoming to Purdue, was the special teams coach. And Coach Travis Dorsch, the kicker from Bozeman, who went on to become an All-American at Purdue.
Yeah, he might be watching his pupil, Chris, but he's wearing the blue and gold over there. So his
Well, a lot of connections there. Huh? There's a ball down on the ground, and it is recovered by Northern Colorado. So the Bobcats with their 2nd turnover, and it's the big fella that falls on it, and that gives the Bears the ball.
For the 2nd time today, this defense for Northern Colorado has come up with the big play with the turnover. That time you see it get loosed, and it is the big boy Felker, I believe, that came up with it. Yeah, it is 63. He looked like, I think he might have ate it, Chris. You got to give that ball back.
So the Bears have it on 1st down as Orms looks for Davis, long and deep. This is caught at the 10-yard line to the 5 and out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Boy, you could see that play develop from a long way away as Chase Davis makes a great catch.
As so many offensive coordinators will do when they get the change of possession. They want to go for the big hit right away. And this time they give the play fake, but they look downfield for their number 1 guy. It is, excuse me, that is their leading receiver, Jace Davis, who's already made the big play for the 68-yard screen for the touchdown today with the 2nd big reception.
Gain is all the way down to the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. And now flags come in as they tried to get it to Harris, and it's going to be a false start against Northern Colorado.
Prior to the play, false start with an illegal snap, 62 on the offense. 5 yards, the down remains 1.
You know, Mike,
when you get the rapid change of possession.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Here's Orms, looks, and now throws it to the back of the end zone, and this one is almost intercepted. Great job by Montana State back there to break it up. Looked for a moment like there was a man open, but Gords was there to knock it down.
Yeah, he rolls out here, and you can see he's actually looking for his fullback, who was well covered, forced to come back across the field. And boy, Jones does a nice job coming again, clear from that backside corner all the way across the field to make that play.
Darius Jones was in on that coverage. So 2nd and 7. Orms operates out of the gun, empty backfield. Looks left, now pulls the ball down, has some running room, and he's going to be wrapped up and taken down inside the 5. Back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to set up 3rd and goal from the 2.
Well, Coach Ash talked earlier this week about this is a big threat with this quarterback, is he will pull the ball down and go with it. That time, I think they had Grosselec spying on him. He came up, just wasn't able to make the open field tackle, but they were still able to keep him just short of the goal line.
Yeah, Preston Gale keeps him out of the end zone, so 3rd and goal. The ball's on the 1-yard line. And the give is to Harris, and Harris barrels his way in for the touchdown. And the Bears are on the board again. Nothing fancy that time. They just lined up and pounded it right at Montana State and into the end zone for 6 more.
Well, let's go back and remember, just as with the last, but their ball control has been a major problem.
And extra point is up and good. 13:04 to go, second quarter. Northern Colorado ups the lead to 14-3 over Montana State. Harris with the 1-yard touchdown run. It's a 14-3 game, and much like the Portland State game a couple of weeks ago, Montana State is going to have to come from behind again if they're going to hope to pull this one out. Remember, they got behind the Vikings 18-3 early in the first quarter, then rattled off 41 unanswered points.
And very similar, and it was the long strikes that got them. They've been really pretty solid on defense on the majority of the plays today, but have given up the 2 big plays after the turnovers.
And it'll be a touchback as Gilbert takes a knee in the end zone. So Montana surprisingly trailing 14-3, penalty against Northern Colorado.
Kicking team, number 3 kick the ball.
So Montana State will force Northern Arizona, or Northern Colorado rather, to kick it again on the penalty, and another chance for Everett Gilbert to run one back. Rob Ash got to be concerned right now defensively, and you know, make no mistake, they have had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football, but this will be the 4th week now in a row where they have really struggled stopping the opposing team.
You can talk about the injuries, and we do, and they are legitimate. But you know what? You got, at some point, you got to move past that, not use it for an excuse, and you got to go out there and play with who you've got ready to go on game day. And that's really, they've been better, but when you've got a defense that's struggling, you can't give those turnovers. So really, it's not the defense, it's not the offense, but right now the combination of the 2 of them has been very poor.
Mason Puckett will kick it again.
Well, I want to give that other team another chance.
Puckett kicks this one high and short. That's going to be fielded by Davis inside the 20. Davis to the 30, still on his feet to the 35. Great field position for Montana State. McGee's been perfect through the air, 6 of 6 for 95 yards, but so far just the field goal. Here's McGee, looks across the middle, has a man wide open at midfield, and down to the 40-yard line is the big tight end, Shane Robinson from Billings West. Makes the catch and the first down.
Boy, we talked about it earlier, when you've got time to sit in that pocket and deliver the ball over the middle of the field. I'll tell you what, I don't think that time Marcel Gibbons wanted a big piece of Robinson, did he? He tried to go down for that little chop, that little cut tackle, and Robinson, while he did get just enough of a knee to bring him down, that's a big load to go take on head up.
Doesn't get much cuter than that, does it? Enjoying the game. Here's Palmer with some running room inside the 35 and down to the 33.
Well, I think it is a tribute to this offense, the way they've been moving the ball. Some turnovers, but boy, look at these guys up front, because here again, you can see everybody slides to the right, opens up that cutback lane to the left. You know, they've been doing a great job up front. Now they need to turn around and tell those guys to hang on to the football.
So a gain of 7 on the play brings up 2nd and 3. Montana State down to the 34 of Northern Colorado. They trail 14-3 early in the second quarter. Here's Bleskin comes across, and the give is to Palmer. Palmer tries to bounce outside and then cut it up in. Close to the first down.
Boy, it's going to be depending on where they spot this. Looks like the FAR officials got it. Looks like enough, but hey, a nice nifty piece of running here. Good awareness by Palmer. There's good penetration, but he finds a way to turn this thing up in the smallest of seam, and is going to be very close to the first down if he didn't get the first down.
You make the
say first down Montana State.
Well, it's right on the where it's marked.
They're going to have it by about 1 3/4 inches, Chris.
You need to rebound too, because your track record this season has not been the best.
Well, we don't have to go back there. I mean, that's all history. It's game day. We start over, right? Well, I'm going to be there again today.
Yep.
As I said, they're going to be just a little bit short of that.
Palmer is the running back. I told Shane he needed to make at least a couple of catches a day so I could talk about him a little bit.
Well,
so far, so good.
He's got a good start on getting a couple.
All right, here's McGee, who stutter steps on the snap of the ball, and he did not get it.
It looked like they had a problem in the exchange that time. I don't know that the quarterback, Denarius McGee, was ready to get this ball, but no, you can see it. The snap was correct. It was a good snap. He had a little bit of hesitation when he tried to pull that ball up. So I think that one's on McGee, but now it's the 4th and short. You've just struggled on 3rd and short, Chris. This is a difficult call, but again, I really believe you've got to go for it here and try and get something happening offensively.
So now it's 4th down. That was on me. I thought the last one was 4th. I need to pay attention. Here's the give to Palmer, and CJ's got the 1st down and then some as he takes it down close to the 25-yard line. That time they kind of spread the gaps out a little better, and Palmer with plenty of running room to pick up the 1st down.
Watch your right guard, Terrian, will pull all the way across the formation and is going to lead that guy up. There, you can see him. He'll come across your screen. CJ gets behind the block of the tight end as well and is able to get enough for the 1st down and more. You wonder, are those the kind of momentum shifts? Those are the things that offense. It didn't seem like much, 3 yards, but those are the kind of plays on 4th and 1, 4th and short that can really get things triggered offensively.
Give us to Gilbert. Everyone stayed at home that time, and absolutely nothing doing there.
Well, that time nobody laid a hand on defensive end number 99, Marcus Lewis, 6'3", 235-pounder out of Aurora, Colorado. He just comes up, there's the give, and there's just nothing there for Gilbert. He had help as well from his safety coming up also.
There you see the numbers on Everett, leading receiver for Montana State with 32. And now McGee will pull back, look over for the play. This time we'll stay in the gun on 2nd and 15. Ball at the 32-yard line. Here's McGee. Looks left, now comes back across the middle. Has a wide open receiver at the 15. That's Julius Lloyd. And Lloyd has just enough for the 1st down as he takes it to the 14-yard line.
Boy, a lot of cat and mouse going on out there. MSU, of course, comes with the no-huddle look, but a lot of shifting on that defensive side of the football. That time they got a little bit caught. Lloyd was open, and what we're seeing them do a little bit better than we saw at NAU, when a receiver is having an opportunity to go make a catch, they are securing the football and turning it upfield.
So a big 1st down conversion for Montana State will keep the drive alive. Lloyd, the senior out of Kenmore, Washington. Here's Denarius, looks across, almost intercepted by Askew. That was intended for Elvis Akpla.
Boy, lucky that is not the 3rd turnover of the day for the Montana State offense. This is a ball that...
So as it stands, an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 from the 14. Bobcats trail by 11, 8:56 to go, 2nd quarter. Here's Palmer, and absolutely nothing there. Palmer will lose a yard and brings up 3rd down.
Well, again, it's Felker that leads the charge here, but really this whole defensive front from Northern Colorado is there to get this thing stopped. And just, we don't see that very often. We see a little bit at NAU, more than usual, but this is an MSU offensive line that's had a lot of success, with the exception of last week at NAU.
Northern Colorado, big, strong, physical on both sides of the ball. 3rd and 10 now from the 14 for Denarius McGee. He's got 3 receivers split right. Now looks back left, fires out there, has a man in the end zone, touchdown Montana State. Julius Lloyd with a sensational catch in the end zone, and the Cats on the board with a touchdown for the 1st time today.
Julius Lloyd has been a guy, big play guy, not a lot of catches, only about 2.5 a game, but 4 TDs before this one. This is his 5th of the season. But look at McGee, looks that ball off and then just fires it in there. He really did a great job. I don't know if you could see it there, but he moved both the corner and the safety off when he looked across the field. So, hey, credit, a great throw and catch, but boy, that is really some heads-up play at quarterback for a young freshman.
Cunningham extra point is good, so 8:07 to go, second quarter off the we call him Big Play Julius for a reason, right?
Yeah, that's just a nice job of pulling that thing in. The throw was a little high, certainly catchable, and a great play that time, but boy, I wish we could get a shot of that time. The look off is really what set that up, because number 7, the cornerback, as well as number 32 Gibbons, the safety, were both in pretty coverage. They had him double covered there, but boy, when he got that look from McGee to the other side of the field, both guys immediately set down, set their hips, and moved the other way, and couldn't get back to the good throw.
Well, Julius had that huge game against Sacramento State. It's been a little quiet since then, but now back with the touchdown. Cunningham's kick is high and deep, and it's going to be taken by Gunn right at the goal line. Dominic Gunn to the 20, and slips and falls to the 23-yard line. AJ?
Guys, Montana State has cut the lead now, 14-10, but it's time for Northern Colorado's offense to go back to the field, and that means quarterback Dylan Orms is back out there. As you guys have mentioned already today, this team is completely different when Orms is on the field. Those games against Sacramento State and Montana that the Bears played, those were both losses by very big margins, only 7 points in each game. Last week against Eastern Washington, though, and that loss to Weber State, Northern Colorado put up a lot of points and moved the offense well. Those were games that Orms played, so we'll see if he can continue to keep it up today against the Cats. Guys?
Thanks, AJ. Orms this time will keep it, and he's taken out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, so nothing doing that time for Dylan Orms. Alexi Grosselak and Craney over there along with Mike Ryder.
Yeah, that time Northern Colorado goes trip receivers on the top of your screen to the left, and this is just a planned run, but credit the linebackers. Owens, Jersey was being, I think that might have been an infraction, Chris. But those backers are doing a nice job of staying home. But that's one of the things that Coach Ash talked about this week, is you've got to account for this quarterback in the run game.
Well, they'll stay on the ground, and Jordan Craney puts a lick on Jamel Robinson, who carries the football for the first time today. Now a little John between the two.
Yeah, straight up the field, and you'll see Craney come in. Boy, it's nice to see him back. That time, nearly enough for the first down for Northern Colorado. They are going to bring the chains in, but hey, to see their ability to lead the troops on that MSU defense.
Inches short of the first down will set up third and less than a yard. They'll bring in an extra tight end as the Bears try to extend this drive. Orms keeps it himself, gets a good push from the line of scrimmage, and looks like he's got just enough for the first down up to the 37-yard line. In the backfield, the fullback is Andrew Downing, and if that name sounds familiar, he's the son of the head coach. He's the fullback in this set, and he'll lead the way for Robinson. And Jamel, not much there. Give him maybe one on the play. Good job by the Bobcats up front that time.
Pretty good matchup here when you look at, as you said, Downing coming from that fullback spot, and he is taken on right at the point of attack by Cosme Pico. Both guys just playing very hard to the whistle there, and that's a nice, both sides of the football are going to be pretty happy with that block as well. And if you're the defensive coach, that looked pretty dang good too. That's just good football.
Give him 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 from the 34. And Gunn on the end arounds, got some room up over the 40 and close to the first down. I think he's got it. Yeah, he will, up to the 44. Well-designed play at recruiting base, but easier said than done to get players to come up to Greeley. Here's Orms, pulls it back, keeps the football. Now a little shovel pass. And it looked like he might have been over the line of scrimmage. I think that's what the crowd's hot about.
Yeah, I think it was very close, and we'll see it on the replay. I don't think that he did cross the line, but he was very close. That's sort of a last-minute idea to pitch that thing forward. And I think if they have a discussion on this one when they watch film, that Harris would prefer if Orms would have kept this football, because he just takes a lick at the end of this thing. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Jody Owens.
That was actually Robinson that was in there on that play to take the hit.
Here's Orms, steps into the pocket now, throws and completes the pass. up over the 50-yard line, and that's going to be another first down, as that time they get it to Mac McDonald, the senior from...
Defense was willing to sit back a little bit and allow that underneath completion.
1st and 10 from the 46 in Montana State territory. Fumble on the play, but Orm's able to fall on it. Looked like he wanted to give it to Robinson, but then bad exchange and coughs up the football.
Yeah, the little give there. I think he was trying to pull that ball out, and Robinson clamped down on a little bit, but they're fortunate to get that thing back. The defensive line for MSU had really gone with that dive.
Still picks up 1 on the play, 2nd and 9. Orms operates out of the gun right at midfield. Here comes the pressure, steps up now, runs the football, and he'll be very close to another first down. Takes it down to the 40, or rather the 36-yard line. He's going to be a yard short.
Well, again, we're going to see Orms doing what makes him so dangerous. Is there's nothing there, and he pulls this thing down and he gets it upfield. That time, just another heads-up play. They've got to do a better job of keeping him in the pocket and not allowing him those running lanes, particularly right up the middle of the field.
Double tight end formation, 3rd and 1. Orms with the give to Robinson. Robinson hit behind the line of scrimmage, falls forward, and based on where they're coming in, he's going to be short.
Well, that looked like it was Caleb Schreibus, I believe, number 49, coming down from his defensive end position. Here, let's take another look. There you see the give, and watch Schreibus come in and get the first wrap on him. He's got some help from Preston Gale in the middle, but I think, are they going to bring him in again, or do we have a timeout here?
Sean Gorge, the freshman corner, was the one shaken up on the play. We were told before the game that Arnold Briggs could go if he needed to. They were going to keep him out another week, but he is now in the game at corner replacing Gorge. And
yeah, you know, great to see him on the field, Chris. Pretty comforting for the MSU side, but if he's not ready, you've got to be concerned that now you've got Gorge out, you've got an injured backup here with Briggs, and boy, an already thin secondary just took another hit with the injury to Gorge. We'll hope that that's not serious and that he can get back out there today.
Well, so you've got Briggs in the lineup. Jordan Craney is playing. He's been nicked up. So now you're having to come back to some of your starters that probably wouldn't be playing today if they could. So take a look at the numbers here. 8 for 30 on this drive. 9 of 16 before. So 4th and less than a yard from the 36. Orms up under center. Long snap count. Finally now keeps it. He's hit, falls forward, and boy, this is going to be close. Looks like he's going to get a spot that's going to give them the first down.
Yeah, it's going to be very close.
Up a little bit of the passing game, and they've been pretty stout for Montana State today. And no,
once again, Chris, I was exactly wrong. I think I'm 0 for the season this year, but that time a good break for MSU, a little bit of a gamble for Northern Colorado, because remember, this defense hasn't stopped Montana State yet when Montana State has remained with the football. The 2 fumbles have been the only time, not a punt yet today. So a dangerous play there on 4th and 1 to give it back to him with 3:47 left in the half.
And still 2 timeouts remaining for Montana State, so plenty of time on the clock as McGee pulls it back, rolls right, still looking, now throws and has a man near midfield. That's Beggar with the catch, and Kyle Beggar gives Montana State the first down.
Well, that time, as we've seen so often, McGee does a nice job of getting out of the pocket, play action away, and literally, you won't see it here, but Lloyd fell down. He was wide open down the middle of the field, and as a good job by McGee of pulling that ball back. He was trying to release it to him. Receiver fell down, and he checks underneath for the 10-yard gain.
This time they'll stay on the ground. At Davis, who gets the corner. Davis up over the 45 to the 44. Gain of 7 on the play. Nice job by a... Second down as clock winding down to 3 minutes. Montana State quickly in Northern Colorado territory. And Denarius will give to Davis, and Davis close to a first down. Looks like he'll be a yard short.
I'm not going to make a prediction on this one, Chris.
I will. He's a yard short.
I better stay out. I leave that to you, but that was a nice job on safety. Number 4, Max Hewitt, to come up and make the sure tackle to keep him short of the first down yardage.
The young Bobcat fan trying to get his team into the end zone. Anything better when you're a kid than mom and dad taking you to a college football game?
I don't think so. I have very fond memories, even though I don't know if I ever was a kid. It seems like that's so long ago. But I know my little guys, they sure enjoy it.
Yep.
They're at a game, not this one today, but down at Idaho.
3rd and 1. They're going to throw to Beggar, who's wide open at the 30. To the 25. Beggar following his blockers all the way down inside the 25-yard line. And the big tight end from Miles City. Great job of running after he caught the ball.
Yeah, when you're Kyle Beggar, you got to have eyes as big as saucers. When you turn around, he's used to catching the ball underneath and taking a big hit every time he does it. That time when he turns this up, there's nobody there.
Well, and look at the blocking up in front there.
Yeah, with tight end taking care of tight end there that time. Just a really nice play that time by the MSU offense.
Corey Askew's going to feel like he got hung out to dry on that play. He's taking a beating from those tight ends. First down all the way down to the 22-yard line. And McGee rolls right now, throws, and has a man wide open. Touchdown, Montana State. Wow, Julius Lloyd all alone in the end zone. 6 points for Montana State.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that secondary for Northern Colorado is having some discussions right now, because clearly the coverage is blown because there's nobody within 10 yards of Lloyd. You see the play fake away, but look, you don't see another white shirt in the area of Lloyd. Lloyd in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Cunningham on for the extra point. It's up and good. So with 1:45 to go, 2nd quarter, Montana State has their first lead of the game on the touchdown strike from Denarius McGee to Julius Lloyd. Back with more.
And those 2 big plays, 184, probably 100 of that or better has been on those 2 big plays. The first one being the 68-yarder, and then the second one on Joel Davis was nearly that length. So defense has been better, but big plays keeping Northern Colorado in this contest.
Well, Gunn's going to have a chance to return this one as he takes it at the 10 to the 20, runs into his own blocker, now spins out of 1 tackle, still on his feet, finally wrapped up and taken down at the 25-yard line.
Hey, they are just some great effort that time on that kick recover team and staying with that play. But as we take another look at the touchdown, this thing looks, they do the little play fake inside, he gets to the outside, and boy, he's looking back all the way, but I still can't see just those 2 safeties at the end of that one. They're looking at each other, you know, pointing the finger going, I thought you had him, and I thought you had him. That time just clearly a mistake. Credit for McGee for picking that thing up and delivering the ball.
Still 1:36 to go in the 2nd quarter. Here's Orms, flips it out there for his running back, and that's be a short gain on the play. That time Davis, the receiver, makes the catch.
Well, Dave.
Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5 from the 30. Davis with 3 catches already this afternoon. Orms now looks over the middle, and he's going to be taken down, and taken down hard right at the 30-yard line. Great job by the Montana State defense. Flashing in was Caleb Schreibeis.
Boy, here is something that we haven't seen since the early weeks for MSU. Watch them squeeze this pocket from the outside. With the injuries that they've had to O'Connell and some of the other defensive ends, they've lost that ability for the last couple games. That time it's Gale and Schreibeis that really squeezed that thing down and forced the sack.
So 3rd down from the 30. They'll stay on the ground this time, and Harris is taken down. Not much doing there. Now we'll see what Montana State may decide to do. They've got a couple of timeouts with 44 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the...
I got a comment because that has been missing as we watch. Here's the play. You see Ogden wrap him up here. Nothing doing with that block. Craney, Grosselot in to help, but when you get big number 9-0 walking off the field, doing the arm pump, you know things are going a little bit better. That is something, that emotion, that spark, that effort has been gone the last 3 weeks. So good to see that defense for MSU starting to have a little bit more fun.
The clock. 46 seconds.
Let's go down on the field with
pressure on the previous punt. It looked like they might even get a block. Pretty tough to get a block in these formations with the 3 personal protectors now, but let's see. Well, yeah, that time they had the return on Chris, but with the low snap, may have been able to get in there.
And Tanner Bleskin runs out of bounds. His momentum just took him that way. And decent field position for Montana State with 39 seconds to go. And with the kind of offense that Montana State has, certainly a chance to maneuver down the field, if nothing else, Mike, to give maybe Cunningham a shot at a long field goal.
Yeah, and I think maybe you look at it 2 ways. You've got the one timeout, so you can take the long shot, or you can try and get the one over the middle, maybe get 2 shots at it and get him into field goal range. But, you know, this is a situation where, as a defense, with all the weapons at receiver that Montana State has, even though you're expecting it over the top, you still got to go cover 4 really talented football players.
So Montana State with a first down. Here's McGee. Bobcats looking for more. Fires out there for Aqua, who makes a sensational one-handed catch at the 45-yard line. Are you kidding me?
Boy, that is it. That's highlight film stuff right there. This ball is thrown out in front. I thought too far out in front, but watch him go up and pull this thing in. One-handed catch, slow-mo. Look at that camera work.
It was good all the way around.
That was just beautiful to watch.
First down from the 45-yard line. 34 seconds to go, second quarter. The quick little pitch to Palmer. CJ trying to pick up blockers, dances around inside the 40. And CJ, all that work, nets him 8 yards. And Montana State will use the final timeout of the second quarter.
Timeout.
All right, so 2nd and 2. No timeouts left for Montana State, so they'll have to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Here's McGee, rolls left. Gilbert had it and just tried to turn up field before he looked it in. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, I think that's a situation where Everett Gilbert was very concerned about turning to the outside, getting that ball out of bounds to stop the clock. As you mentioned, no timeouts left for Montana State. And really a rare thing where we see that ball almost went through his chest, and he's not able to bring that in. But yeah, he had turned his head to the sideline, thinking ahead a little bit. Got to secure that football first and then make your upfield move.
Well, they're not too far away from being in the range of Cunningham, who already has a 55-yarder this year.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a headwind going this way. I think if this was turned around, it would be a no-brainer.
Here's McGee, and this is picked off, intended for Lloyd. And that was going to do it for Montana State as they were looking for more, but Max Hewitt, the safety, just steps in there and picks off the McGee pass. It was intended for Julius Lloyd.
Yeah, we've seen some fumble problems for MSU, but this is the first interception we've seen in quite some time. I believe it's since they threw the interception in the end zone against Eastern Washington. He comes into this game today with a 14-4 touchdown to interception ratio. So he has been very efficient. He is second only in the Big Sky to that category to the man who backs him up, Cody Kemp.
So the Bears, very well played first half by Northern Colorado. They come in decided underdogs, and they're right in this one. We got a whale of a football game going after 2 quarters of play. Montana State having to rally for 2 second quarter touchdowns to take the lead at 17-14 after 2 quarters of play. And boy, Northern Colorado, you know, we've talked about the reestablishing their program down there with Coach Downing, and clearly they have done a good job this year to try to right that ship. Let's go down on the field to join A.J. Donatoni.
Here with Northern Colorado head coach Scott Downing. Coach, 3 turnovers in that first half for you guys. How important is it to get those turnovers early against a team like Montana State?
Oh, it's incredibly lucky for us. I mean, it gives us a little bit of momentum, and obviously we capitalized on a couple of them, so hopefully they'll do the same thing in the second half.
Important stop there at the end to hold it to a field goal going into the locker room. When are you going to tell the guys going into the second half?
Well, you know, we've got some things we got to clean up, particularly in the secondary. We can't let them throw corner routes on us all day, but, you know, I'm pleased with the way we're playing, and I'm sure we'll come out and give it a great effort in the second half.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
That was head coach Scott Downing of Northern Colorado. 17-4.
You can see the things that really jumps out at you, obviously, is that first number. Northern Colorado 0 turnovers, Montana State 3. Those 3 turnovers, 2 of which led to touchdowns for Northern Colorado, are what really propelled them early on. And you said it, Chris, they grabbed the momentum and they got going early, but since that time, it's been all MSU for the most part. They have been punt, turn it over on down. So MSU's starting to get back. And something else that's interesting, doesn't show it on there, but 0 punts for MSU. That defense has yet to stop them, with the exception of forcing the fumbles.
What has stopped them in the first half and made this a very close game is the turnovers, and you see it right.
Colorado 17-14 now, joined by Cats head coach Rob Ash. Coach, 3 turnovers in that first half, 2 early on. How crushing is it to the team to give away the ball like that early on in the game?
AJ, that's what we just talked about in the locker room. I mean, we know we've got to protect the ball. And in fact, we talked about it right before those turnovers because it looked like we were a little bit loose. So we just got to be better with our technique, protecting the football. I'll tell you, Northern Colorado hits hard. Their guys are very physical, and they are the kind of team that can knock it away from you if you don't have good technique.
Looking on the bright side, Coach, despite the 3 turnovers, you do have a 3-point lead here going into the second half. What do you plan to do in terms of making adjustments here coming out in the second half?
Well, AJ, they're a good football team. This thing's far from over. I like the way our defense is playing right now, but they have the capacity for big plays. So we just have to, like we said earlier, hang on to the ball. We got the ball first here in the second half. I'd love to get a big offensive drive, get some more points on the board, and get a little cushion here going into the second half. That would be the perfect recipe right now.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Chris, take it away.
All right, thank you, AJ. As we take a look at the first half highlight, look at the team comparisons, and you see Northern Colorado's a vastly improved team from last year. They have a new offensive coordinator. They are averaging 10 points more per game than they did last year and about 30 yards more rushing the football. So Montana State has it to start the second half. Gilbert's going to bring it out of the end zone. Everett to the 15, to the 20. He's got running room to the 40. Everett Gilbert has one man to beat, taken down in the 50-yard line. Boy, Everett Gilbert almost took that one back for 6.
Well, I'll tell you, I have been biting my tongue on these last few kickoff returns for MSU because they've been very, very close to getting this seam with Gilbert. It's looked like they've been to get it several times, but in that my predictions have been horrible. I didn't want to miss another one and go out on a limb. But look at this. Look at the seam that opens up, and he doesn't even have to make a cut until he clears that whole first line, and then it's just him and the kicker and a great tackle.
Mason Puckett, the kicker, saved the touchdown, 56 yards on the return. So Montana State with great field position from the 45 of Northern Colorado. They'll stay on the ground, and here's Davis with running room. Arenzo Davis to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown Montana State, but no, they say he stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Well,
Boy,
a great run, and I just had mentioned it that MSU really hadn't got much going in the rushing game. They'd had some yardage, but a couple of big setbacks. But boy, he is just flying through that seam, and watch him here. We'll get a great shot. I know with our crew, you can see it. Hey, these guys, Camera crew, great job once again this year. They haven't missed much, Chris.
Well, you're going to see it right here at the 11-yard line, and watch the left foot. Actually, it's the right foot right there that comes down on the line. So great job by the gang to pick that shot up. So Montana State has it first down from the 11. It can still pick up a first down. Opening drive of the third quarter. Here's McGee. Rolls out to his left, fires into the end zone, and it caught and dropped in the end zone. That was intended for Shane Robinson, the tight end, and he had 6 points, and he knew it.
Boy, pretty good defense, just unable to hang on. You see, as so often do, ball fake, roll away. This ball is delivered pretty darn well. Only the 4th incomplete pass for MSU today. It has been nothing but strikes for the most part from Denarius McGee. There's another one for the 2nd time today. Usually as a quarterback, if you can get that ball where you're drilling your guys in the middle of the pads like that, you're going to hope that most of those are going to get caught.
Incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10 from the 11. Opening drive of the third quarter in a 3-point game. And a timeout taken by Montana State over a quality team in the Big Sky. Here's Davis with the football at the 10, makes a move, and he is taken on big time at the 7-yard line, gain of a couple.
Well, that's a short game today. We're great against the pass, but boy, they come up and help in that run support as well.
3rd and 5. Here's McGee, looks into the end zone, now pulls it down, and he's hit at the 5, spins forward, and is very close. He might have a first down, Mike. Keep in mind, the first down marker is right at the 1-yard line.
Well, here Denarius kind of taking a page of the Northern Colorado book. He pulls this thing down similar to Orms, makes the first man miss, and is able to roll this thing up, and it will depend on the spot.
Nobody likes the spot from the sound of the crowd. They're going to mark it just inside the 2-yard line. And here come all the tight ends. So Beggar checks in, Robinson checks in.
Looks like Bleskin as well on the outside, so you bring in 3 tight ends.
3 tight ends.
And they're going to put Bleskin on top, the only wideout.
And Beggar, tight end, lined up in the backfield. So here we go.
Delay of game, number 9 on the offense.
Wow.
5 yards to down will remain 4.
Well, they're gonna credit that delay to number 9, but really that one's got to go on the coaching staff. That came in very, very late. We talked about all the substitutions. We were trying to run through it, but boy, that's absolutely critical, and it's going to change the whole complexion. See, from what was a pretty good shot at a touchdown here is now going to be a 24-yard field goal attempt for Cunningham.
So Cunningham from the left hash, Haluska to hold. The ball down, kick is up and through. 12:39. So Cunningham on to kick it away. Dominic Gunn standing at the goal line to return for Northern Colorado. This time Cunningham gets the foot into it, and Gunn will not bring it out. Let's go down on the field to A.J. Donatoni.
Guys, one of the most heralded parts of this Montana State team is the special teams. Jason Cunningham with 2 field goals today. He's 2 for 2. He is first in the country in field goal percentage with guys that have attempted more than 10 kicks. Then you have Rory Perez, who hasn't attempted a punt yet today. He's actually first in the country in return yards. He has given up -2 return yards all season, in case you're wondering. Yes, that's first in the country. So these guys each number 1 in their respective parts, and as long as Perez doesn't have to attempt a punt today, I guess it's a good thing, right, guys?
Absolutely. So Cunningham extends the lead for Montana State early in the 3rd as the Bears keep it on the ground. Boy, you could hear that pop up here. That time Andre Harris took a big-time shot at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and we got the penalty flag that comes in, and it's going to be holding against Northern Colorado, but let's listen to this hit. It's the crack of the bat.
You love that, don't you?
I do.
How come you laugh?
I don't know, but every
so
time.
excited.
Number 50. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
That's my favorite sound.
Folks,
sorry, I apologize. I should be more professional.
You folks need a camera
just
to see what he does on these big hits up here. He's jumping around like Christmas came early. You're coachable. 1st and 19 from the 11-yard line after the penalty. Orms nowhere to go, taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
Got it. And again, I talked about it earlier, but we saw Orms having success earlier, breaking upfield in the middle of the pocket. But now their MSU defensive front is squeezing that thing in. The ends are coming together, and that's what allows, you can see the tackles on a little bit of an X stunt there. They are in the middle. Ogden, both of them, Minter there. That's just a great job by that front 4 for Montana State.
2nd and 12. 2nd and 18, rather, from the 12. Bears in a big hole here in the 3rd. Here's Orms, fires across the middle, has Gunn up at the 20-yard line. Gets most of the penalty yardage back. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Well, I think that...
All right, the crowd into it now on 3rd and 10. They sense maybe this game is starting to shift a little bit towards Montana State. Here's Orms. Looks across the middle. This is high and over the head of Gunn. So 4th down, and the Bears are going to have to punt the football. And I know a lot about football, especially defensively, Mike, has to do. It's that chess match, you know, what one team's doing and how you react to it. And you just get the sense that this Montana State defense is starting to figure out what they need to do and playing much better in the 2nd quarter and early in the 3rd.
Yeah, you really do. And a lot of that you lose on TV, that we're able to see it live with the safeties rolling up and out. But that time, that whole series, they really had the quarterback, Orms, confused on what he was going to see from a coverage standpoint, and that's what made the difference and allows you to get that pass rush. If you can create that hesitation in the mind of the quarterback, you're in good shape defensively.
So Aqua signals for and makes the fair catch at the 35. Montana State, good field position.
Tough to make enough plays to bring that momentum back.
Empty backfield for McGee on first down. Looks, throws, and this is incomplete.
Montana State
fans wanted pass interference.
Yeah, they definitely wanted pass interference, but this ball is thrown over the middle. You can see it here. The backer comes. Yeah, he was a little early, but you know, those are ones that, again, if you have that defensive mentality, you're going to want to give those guys a little chance. It's tough to play in that middle. You know, you got to cover those big receivers, Chris. But
yeah,
that time the backer got a little bit of a jump on it, but he got away with it.
All right, so here's Palmer on second down. Not much doing there. Very short gain will bring up 3rd and long.
Well, again, we see linebacker John Eddy, number 96 on the player. Keep in mind that Eddy, we talked about, was a converted defensive end, so he's got some real versatility on that. He can go down in the defensive front, but
prior to the snap, false start, number 92 on the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and 8, it'll bring up 3rd and 3. Coach Downing not at all pleased with that. So Montana State now with a much more manageable 3rd down. There is a huge difference between 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 3.
Boy, there sure is. All those options and the things that you can do, boy, it takes away of some of your choices defensively and really opens up your whole playbook on offense.
So 3rd down for Montana State as McGee still looks. Now keeps it and will run for first down yardage. He's going to be close. Just depends on where they spot the football. He took it up over the 45.
This is one of those situations. A lot of quarterbacks will just take off when they see this gap here. But McGee is so patient. He was still trying to get the ball upfield. Gilbert was releasing. It was outside of your screen, but he was releasing, and he's looking for him here. Otherwise, he would have turned that upfield a lot harder, but he's done a great job this year of making those plays. When it looks like he could have taken off and maybe gotten 3 or 4 more yards, he's thrown it upfield and got 10, 15, 20 more yards.
Well, you're absolutely right. He wanted to throw the football right up until the very last second. And then did you see the way he shifted the ball from the right to the left like a good running back does? Protected the football very well. And
well, I would think after last week and then a couple of the games early on and then earlier today with his ball protection that he's getting a little help on a few reminders from that Bobcat sideline to tuck that thing away at the end of the run. We're able to just get that little zone read out to the right where there's not quite as many bodies.
So 4th and less than 1. McGee keeps it, and I don't think he got it. I don't think he got it. And this could be a big turn of events here if the Bears would hold. Well, he got stopped right in his tracks.
Yeah, I think he is going to be short. You know, these are the calls that if they work, you're the smartest guy on the field. If they don't work, it was just a horrible decision. No matter if he got it or not, I like the decision on Coach Ash. He said early on, when we get deep into our conference schedule and we have some big conference games, we've got to be aggressive, and we've got to make those aggressive decisions. So he obviously...
Oh, boy, they got it. And look how close that was. That is unbelievable.
Well, look in the middle here. We talked about these big boys, but look at Felker down low and driving thing. He is in most of your screen there in the middle of the field, but I do not know how they got that ball upfield. That is just a great push by a 6'1", 375 or 370-pound transfer from the University of Wyoming. I'm not sure why they let him go.
My gosh, that's like trying to move a freight train out of there. First down for Montana State. Here's McGee. He's got a wide open Gilbert at midfield, and Everett yards after the catch, and you could put that next to his name just about every time as he takes it up for another first down.
And going back to that last play, we haven't talked about him yet today, but center number 56, Sean Sampson. He's only given up 120 pounds to Mr. Felker, so a good push that time, allowing MSU to go make the play we just saw there.
Well, he's not the only big guy on that Northern Colorado defense. They are stout. First down from the 41. Play action by McGee. Pressure up the middle by Eddie. He's going to bring him down for a loss at midfield. Now you see why he's the leading tackler on this team. He shot straight up through the middle.
Well, he is their sack all season.
Loss of 8 on the play. 2nd and 18 now from the 49. Here's McGee, fires and has a man open inside the 30, Tanner Bluskin, and another first down for Montana State. And this kid, he doesn't catch a ton of passes, but boy, does he catch them in key situations.
Well, yeah, that is, I think it's his fourth catch today. He had 50 yards in the first half, but boy, sure hands, that ball thrown him behind him. You know, a lot of guys aren't going to make that catch. Not a great catch, but certainly you see a lot of the ball those get dropped when a receiver's got to change directions like that.
Boy, Palmer is dropped immediately, and that was great contain on the outside by Northern Colorado. They turn the play inside and nothing doing.
Well, you can see that defensive front. Northern Colorado is really being able to rotate those inside guys, those tackles in and out to try and keep these guys fresh as this game continues into the third quarter. But boy, they got some big boys. They just keep reloading. I mean, 290, 370. They bring a couple more, and then they're, 285, 290. So that is a good group.
Here's Palmer, and Palmer smacks it up inside the 25 to the 24. Well, we'll see which way this one goes.
Prior to the snap, offside on the defense, number 92.
Well, again,
wow,
for the second time on this drive, Chris.
And on the 3rd and 8.
You talked about it earlier. It's 3rd and 8. They get the offsides penalty to bring it into 3rd and 3. Again, open that offensive playbook wide up and give Montana State a chance to extend this drive where 3rd and 8 is just such a tougher conversion for that offense, but just another kind of unfortunate, silly mistake on the part of Northern Colorado.
So a 3rd and 3 from the 19. Bluskin goes in motion. He's got Shane Robinson, the tight end, in the backfield. McGee pulls it down, throws it out there, caught by Beggar. Beggar to the 5, touchdown Montana State. Oh, is that a beautifully designed play as they get it to Beggar for the score.
Score to Beggar. Watch the courage of Denarius McGee as he sits in under heavy pressure. He knows he's going to get hit. He does, and again, for the second time today, number 81 turns around. He's waiting for that hit, and there's nobody there. What do you do, Chris?
Did you see the smile on his face when he rolled into the end zone?
Well, Kyle Bagger is having a big day. He's another receiver. He had 48 yards in receptions in the first half and picks up another nice chunk for a touchdown there.
Extra point tacked on by Cunningham. 6:50 to go in the third quarter. And the Bobcats have upped the lead to 27-14 here in Bozeman. Plenty of time, 6:50 to go in the third. Here's Cunningham's kick. Gets the leg into this one. That's going to drive Dunn back inside the end zone. He'll bring it out. Gunn is hit behind the 20 and sat down at the 19-yard line. There's that magical 20-yard line, right? If you're a special teamer, you get them inside the 20.
That's where you want it to be, inside that 20. But look at that. That's a nice open field tackle that time by Bryce Stacy, excuse me.
And here's the touchdown.
Starts with a good ball fake, and again, he turns a corner, and there's nobody home. It's just nothing but turf ahead. You might as well run in and score it, huh?
Yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of variations of similar plays where they run those tight ends across the middle. They drag them across, and it's a big part of this offense. Here's Orange, going to air one out and try to get it back in a hurry, and this is caught at the 45-yard line. That was a sensational catch out there, single coverage, and be it mostly on 2 plays.
Yeah, but they're just another, giving some momentum back to his football club as they try. And whoa, it's going to be a double pass here.
Throwing back to Orms, who goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Dominic Gunn showing that he can throw the football.
Well, they've done this. Last week it was receiver Jace Davis that actually had a touchdown pass against Eastern Washington. But here, Gunn steps back and delivers the ball pretty dang well for a receiver. And a smart play for Orms to take that thing and get it out of bounds and not take the big hit.
That was a perfect strike, huh? Assign that guy up to play some quarterback. 27-14, gain is down to the 20-yard line. Orms now up under center. Quick drop, throws it up there for Davis, and that's incomplete. No chance that time.
No, good coverage.
See him field.
Well, he is the only defensive back for Montana State that's had an interception this year with 2. The other leader in that is defensive tackle Zach Minner with 2, and of course Grosselak had 1. They have not been very productive that way in the secondary.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Orms, throws it out there. They work against Briggs, and this time it's a touchdown as they go right back to Davis. They go back up against Briggs, and this time they cash in for 6.
And unfortunately, boy, right when we're singing his praises, they come back with the same play, and he gets beat with a nice throw and catch. And not only does he get beat, but after this play, he gets a silly, unsportsmanlike play for just kicking the football as it's put on the turf. So that'll back Montana State up when they on the kickoff return.
Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 26 on the defense.
And Mike, this scoring,
with a couple big plays down the field, Northern Colorado right back in it.
Eden's extra point is 6 to go in the 3rd. 27-21 our score.
Yeah, and MSU were just a few minutes removed from the scoring drive that was keyed by the great return. This time probably not going to see that with the penalty. This ball is going to be out of the end zone.
Yeah, they just bang it out of the end zone off the penalty, so Montana State will have it from the 20. The good news is if you're a Montana State,
they're surrendering the big plays on defense.
Here's McGee, rolls right, looking, now throws for Robinson, incomplete. That time Shane Robinson was covered closely, and McGee just threw it away to avoid taking the sack.
Yeah.
So well covered.
That's a good one just to get rid of.
Incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. McGee up under center, now gives to Davis, and Davis taken down hard by Eddie after a short 3-yard gain. This is an impressive linebacker.
Boy, he is fun to watch. This looks like there's a great seam there for MSU, but boy, he closes this down with his run foot. Watch him come across your screen there, and that ball gets turned in by his backer mate, number 55, Matt King, and boy, he's right there to finish.
Northern Colorado showed blitz, so McGee steps out and now looks over for the call. This time he'll operate out of the gun on 3rd and 6. Denarius throws out there, and that is incomplete. Intended for Blesk, and it went off one of the defenders' helmets, I think.
That was the outside backer, James Schwenk, using his head on that one to make
literally deep in his own end as he'll stand just outside the 10. Gunn waiting at the 35. So Perez shanks this one off his foot, gets a decent bounce, still going, and finally goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So not a great kick, but a decent bounce. And Northern Colorado, boy, this game just kind of ebb and flows. All the momentum going the way of Montana State.
It really does. It has been back and forth all day. Really, again, the big hot start for Northern Colorado, triggered by the the quick strike to Davis again today, and then the 3 and out, and they are right back in it.
Oh, they sure are. 1st and 10, 4:49 to go in the 3rd. Here's Orms. This is a quarterback run all the way and nothing doing. Zach Minner slicing and dicing his way into the backfield for a 3-yard loss.
Nice play by Zach Minner outside. That time, Montana State has gone back and forth up front. This time they've got Minner in the inside. He's played some of that outside bandit, but that's just great strength and a great push upfield and effort to follow that quarterback down and finish that play off.
Good defensive job by the Bobcats that time. A loss of 2, 2nd and 12. And a crowd back into this one. Here's Orms on a straight drop, throws the little pass. That's caught. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. A short gain on the play as they went to Andre Harris, who's been pretty quiet today.
He has. They've done a good job of bottling him up, and a lot of it has been the solid linebacker play for MSU. And if you're Kane Aon and that defensive staff, you got to be very happy with that play. That ball was thrown underneath to the back out. All 3 linebackers for MSU were right there for the tackle.
Well, they get the 2 yards they lost back, so 3rd and 10 from the 37. Bobcats show blitz up the middle.
Bobcats have gone with their 3 front nickel package here. We'll see if they actually do bring the backers.
Timeout. Charges to University of Northern Colorado.
Northern Colorado. Big play for both teams here in the third. Here's Arms, looks across the middle, and this one is caught at the 30-yard line in double coverage. What a play by Patrick Walker, who makes the catch at a first down.
Well, Patrick Walker is the other big target for this offense. Between he and Davis, they've caught nearly 60% of the balls coming today, but a good throw right over the top. As you said, double coverage. Cosme Pico underneath the safety, or the corner over the top is Briggs. That ball just perfectly thrown.
The junior from Long Beach, California, gives the Bears a first down at the 30-yard line. Inside 3 minutes to go in the third. Harris hit and wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, at this point, you see Northern Colorado almost, they go with their too tight formation and run the football almost to keep that defensive line honest, I think, because really they haven't had anything going rushing the ball at all today, but have been very successful passing the ball. But you can't go just become one-dimensional at this point. You've got to still mix in a little of the rush.
All right, 2nd and 9. Arms under center, pulls it back, now rolls right. Looking, now throws, and this is going to be incomplete, intended for Davis.
Yeah, Davis is going to be out of bounds, but watch this, and this is a great job of talking about what Coach Ash said, accounting for the quarterback in the running when he wants to pull that down. Just a nice job. Look at this, he's just absolutely shadowed there, and then tries to get rid of it, but of course his receiver is already out of bounds. But that's a nice job to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Another big play for this Northern Colorado offense. They trail by 6.
Would you please reset the clock? 2 minutes, 12 seconds. My mistake for winding.
Yeah, the clock stopped. Northern Colorado facing a 3rd and 9. They put Walker in motion. Arms feels the pressure, goes across the middle and complete to Walker. Walker breaks a tackle at the 10, 5, touchdown Northern Colorado. No, they say he went out of bounds at the 3.
Well, as we sit up here, our booth is right next to the coaching staff for Northern Colorado, and offense coordinator Greg Peterson is high-fiving his fellow coaches on this one. They love the call. They just were able to free Harris up, or excuse me, Walker up underneath. He travels all the way underneath this defense. Cosme Pico gets a little bit picked off by his own man, Michael Ryder, and then it's just a race for the end zone, and they're able to knock him out.
Wasn't that the same play that we saw in the first touchdown where they ran the receiver all the way across the field? A little shorter version
Similar
of that,
route, but just a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage, Chris.
And a player's knocking on the door. 1st and goal from the 3. They trail by 6. Downing in at fullback. He'll lead the way for Harris. Harris is wrapped up and brought down for no gain on the play. Good penetration by that Montana State defense.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of guys there from that defensive front for MSU. You've got Trammell comes up. You've got Ogden come up. Just a great push. There's Trammell making the first contact. Owens there to help finish. But, hey, you know, tough place to run the football down that close to the goal line.
No gain, 2nd down. Now they're going to go with a 5-receiver set in the short yardage here. Arms.
Well,
Charge it to Montana State.
MSU with only 10 men on the field, I believe, that keep us from taking control of this thing.
All right, 2nd and goal from the 3. Here's Arms, going to throw for it. Back of the end zone. Catch is made, and a touchdown by Northern Colorado, and a great catch by the tight end Doug Steele.
Well, he's their big target, 6'4", 245 pounds. He just goes straight up the field and then works his way towards the middle of the field. Good throw and catch, good call. That's tough coverage when you are in that secondary when they've got a big man coming free on the goal line.
And the all-important extra point, which would give Northern Colorado the lead. Ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. So with 106
this year, I've done a couple of games with the Cats where I'm thinking of Sac State particularly, where it's just going to may come down to the last team to have the football.
This time it's just kicked on the ground, and it'll be fielded by Cosme Pico with a nice return to the 41-yard line. I've never liked that play, those pooch kicks or those kicks on the ground, because it seems to me you're just inviting great field position by the opposing team.
Well, you want to take away the big play, but so often what you leave yourself with is a really good play for that return team, and you don't give yourself a chance to go really make a play and pin somebody deep. But you know, it's clearly erring on the side of caution.
Boy, look at the stats, and they're almost identical, each team with 361 yards. There you see the score in Missoula, Montana hanging on. They lead over Northern Arizona. Eastern Washington leading Sac State 21-3. And Portland State and Weber are tied up. Here's Davis trying to get a little running room, gets up to the 45-yard line.
Look at how you go win championships. Those teams inevitably have a lot of close games. So far, they have come out on top of those with Montana, with last week at Northern Colorado. So those are things that you really look for, and you can see are great indicators that a team might just get there.
This time they string it out, and Davis does a good job of just sticking his helmet there and getting a couple on the play.
Well, I like this play call in this series. The MSU offense is clearly not panicking. They're not trying to go get a quick strike and get that lead back right away. They really haven't got their running game established the way they would like to today. So credit them. 2 plays, you've got a short 3rd and 3. They may even take another stab at it running the football, but there's no panic in that group yet.
3rd and 3. They roll McGee to the right, looks now, throws, and this is caught at the 40-yard line by Julius Lloyd. Boy, that was a huge, huge 3rd down conversion, and Lloyd is there to make the catch.
Well, Montana State has been very, very good on 3rd down this whole season. You can see here they're doing it again. They've completed almost, their conversion rate on 3rd down is almost 47%, which is awfully, awfully good. And you can see that was a very big one on that play.
So 3/4 of football are in the books. We've got a 1-point game in Bozeman. Buckle up. 4th for Montana State from the 41. They trail by 1 as we start the 4th quarter. Here's McGee, plenty of time, throws it out there, and this is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Elvis Akpla, and they're going to call pass interference. And that's going to go, I believe, against Max Hewitt.
Yeah, tight defense, boy. I'll tell you, as we get the
Pass
call
interference
here.
on the defense, number 6. 15 yards to the previous spot. That's an automatic 1st down.
Boy, this time he's going to run straight up the field here. It's just going to be, but he's got pretty good coverage that time. I think that's when Denarius looks at that film. That's going to be one. They had the tight end for MSU was wide open up the other hash mark as both Hewitt and the other defender had moved over to address Akpla. So that's one that they missed. MSU fortunate to get the flag.
Here's Palmer with the carry. CJ to the 15. Down inside the 15 to the 10 and a 1st down. So CJ Palmer with a nice run to give Montana the 1st down.
Look at this. The blocking on this is great. You'll see at the 1st level on the left side, look at these linemen. They've got everybody moved upfield to the 2nd level. Then you get on the 3rd level, you've got Bleskin making a nice block on the outside. Boy, that is really nicely done that time for the MSU offense.
11 rushes for 44 yards for CJ today. He was at a good afternoon. Splitting time with Lorenzo Davis. 1st and goal for the Bobcats as they try to answer the Northern Colorado touchdown from late in the 3rd. McGee will line up under center. Gives it to Davis. Davis stays on his feet and gets down close to the 5-yard line. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage, but managed to keep the feet moving and take it down close to the 5.
Boy, they are getting behind Mike Person and that left side of this offensive line, but boy, a nice cut and a nice move to get to the outside there by Renzo Davis. which that was a play that really could have been nothing, but he does a great job of getting some yards for MSU.
Brandon Owens runs him out of bounds. Just a gain of 2 on the play, so 2nd and goal from the 7. Just underway here in the 4th. Here's McGee, looks into the end zone, and this is almost picked off. Wow, that was close to being an interception.
Boy, Tanner Bluff, if he doesn't get an arm in there and break this thing up, it is a touchdown. So, boy, really not sure why that ball was thrown, because it looked like there was great coverage the whole way by Seth Lobato, or excuse me, Brandon Owens.
That was Owens, and it looked like McGee was trying to throw to that back shoulder, but Owens read it and just stepped in front of Bleskett and almost had the interception. So
yeah, I don't think there's anywhere you could have thrown that ball that it could have been caught by the offense on that play. That was exceptional coverage.
3rd and goal from the 7. Here's McGee. Now he's going to roll right. Got some room out there. Throws end zone. And Gilbert is absolutely hammered in the back of the end zone. Gets to his feet, but that's an incomplete pass. And oh man, did he take a shot.
Boy, watch the safety come over on the top of this, because this looks like the ball has been threaded in there and it's going to be touchdown. But boom, there is a huge, huge hit. Separates Everett Gilbert from the football, bringing up the 4th down in the field goal unit for MSU.
Chooks Waco with a monster shot on Everett Gilbert. So a little redemption for him. He was the guy that was called on the pass interference. And now for the lead, here's Cunningham's kick. And this is good. So Montana State regains the lead on the field goal by Jason Cunningham, 30.
This is a unique situation for Montana State to be in. Out of the 7 games they've played this year, only 2 have really come down to the wire. Washington State and Sacramento State. Now the Cats are faced with only a 2-point lead, 14 minutes to go, pretty much the entire 4th quarter ahead of them. We're going to see what they're made of in this kind of game, with a big game on the line coming off that loss to Northern Arizona. A close game, so an interesting situation for the Cats to be in, one they haven't experienced too much this year, and we'll see what the offense and the defense especially is made of in this last quarter, guys.
Dominic Gunn back to receive. Back and forth we go here in Bozeman. Cats regain the lead at 30-28. And Gunn will return this as he stands at his end zone, brings it up over the 15 to the 20. Gunn takes a shot at the 25, and that's where Northern Arizona, or Northern Colorado rather, will have the ball.
Yeah, Noah Macchiola makes a nice tackle there on the special teams play, but boy, if you're that MSU defense, you've really got to feel like now is the time that you've got to get a stop. You've allowed, 2 long drives, the last 2 offensive possessions for Northern Colorado, that really allowed them to get back in this thing, and now very much hotly contested 4th quarter.
In a situation too, Mike, where it looks like, the team that can make the stop defensively is going to have a huge advantage in this game. Sean Gords now is back in a corner for Montana State. He was shaken up early in the first half. Harris up over the 30, he's got running room to the 40. Harris up to the 45 on a 1st down. And Harris, timely running for Harris as he moves the chains.
Well, you're not going to.
Gain is out to the 46, 1st down. Out of the I formation, downing it at fullback. Orms has gone all the way at quarterback, and he's looked good. Quick drop, throws it up, and incomplete. Good coverage that time by the freshman.
Yeah, give Sean Gord some credit there. Orms picked this up immediately, that he was going to have one-on-one coverage on the outside. He audibled to the play to Davis because they thought that was a matchup they could take advantage of, but not that time. Gord does a great job.
Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. You see the numbers on Orms, 12 of 21, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Great day at the office for that young man. So 2nd down. Walker comes across in motion. Orms looking, now feels pressure, throws it down. Everyone wants the intentional grounding call.
I'm not sure what they.
I think they ruled him down.
Did he make a call? Okay, well they didn't. They're going to spot the ball back near the 30, about the 31-yard line. So a large loss there. So they're going to call it a sack. He didn't look like he was down here, but let's take another look. Good pressure by Preston Gale upfield. Yep. Yeah, he did go down, I think, but nonetheless, a big play for that MSU defense.
Loss is all the way back to the 31, so 3rd and 25. Orange, they'll stay on the ground, fumble, still loose. Bears fall on it, but they'll be forced to kick it away.
Well, Northern Colorado is going to try and come with the little draw here. The ball doesn't ever get, the transition is not good. Schreibus there to knock it out, but a good job. I'm not sure who was that got down on that one. It looks like that was number 76.
Barbaez.
That's Barbaez, the big 6'7", 300-pound guy, showing some quickness and some agility there to make a brilliant, important play to allow them to have a chance to punt this football.
That could have been disaster for the Bears. They'll kick it away. And this is a beautiful kick. Akpla signals for the fair catch all the way back at the 20-yard line.
Well, that was a boomer, but the important thing, Chris, you said it. This may come down to the defense that can make that stop. MSU with the big
State with the lead and the football after the stop by the Bobcat defense. And McGee up under center this time. The give is to Davis. And Davis will lose yards now, squirts away, still on his feet. Going to wind up with a 3-yard gain.
Boy, that's a good job for Davis. A nice job that time by the North Colorado. They are really mixing up, creating some confusion up front here. But boy, nice job. There's Schrank, gets some help here by the rest of his group. But really, those are 3 hard-fought yards by Davis.
Picks up 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 from the 23. You know the Bobcat offense right now wants to move that, keep that clock moving, pick up some first downs. Here's the catch by Gilbert, and Gilbert's going to get a first down up over the 30. So Gilbert was stopped short, but a nice piece of running after the catch. Bounced back nicely after that shot he took in the end zone, huh?
Yeah, he did take a shot. I don't know if I'd want to be back in there, but here, boy, makes the first guy miss, which is always just a great indicator of the talent level that you've got out there, but and is able to know where he had to get, move the sticks, and keep a very important drive for MSU moving, both from, you want to go get points here, but boy, Chris, if they can take some time off this clock and go out and get some points, they really put themselves in a good situation.
Here's McGee, gonna throw it out there for Akplo, who makes the catch at the 45-yard line, and a first down. Now, he had a couple of options there, Mike. He could have easily run for the first down.
He could, and this is what, I mean, when you're the MSU offense, you've got to feel good when you create this opportunity where he is outside the pocket, running free without pressure. He's going to hurt you. Like you said, could have been running the ball, or he can deliver it upfield. But when he gets out there in space and he's got time to get things done, boy, he just gets so creative out there.
Well, and Shank was shadowing him, but would have no chance of running him down. Deshaun Thomas in the game goes in motion on first down. The give is to Davis. They run that side, and Arenzo up close to midfield. Well, the big matchup of the game, but here late in the game, you see that offensive line starting to open up the holes. And
yeah, and Montana State is up over, they've got to be up over 100 yards or better rushing the ball. But they've had a couple of big losses that have really taken away from those numbers. But credit the Northern geez, I'm struggling with that today. Northern Colorado. They're from Greeley, Chris, but offensively, they have done a good job of answering from a point standpoint and keeping Montana State a little bit uncomfortable. Never let them feel like they could set in and just go establishing that running game.
Now that time the Bears defense just strings the play out. Chukwuemeka gets Davis out of bounds. Sets up 3rd and 5. Just inside at Northern Colorado territory. Now McGee gets flushed, rolls left, flag comes in. Still looking, and now is going to be wrapped up and taken down all the way back to the 42-yard line.
Well, that's a big play. There is a flag. It's going to be holding against Montana State. I'm not sure if they will take the penalty with the big loss there on 3rd down.
And that's Eddie, the linebacker, shaken up on the play. They can ill afford to elude him.
Number 61. That penalty is reclined. 4th down.
So they do indeed decline.
Field, McGee didn't have time to really even get a good look because of the rush from Northern Colorado.
So Perez will kick inside his 30, fumbled snap. Bears say they have the football, and they do. So another miscue by Montana State, and Northern Colorado is in great position with the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, that's a huge gaffe there by Montana State, particularly at this point in the ball game. But hey, the play has been made. You take a look at it here. Going to see it again. I'm not sure, you know, just what happened, but this is, yeah, the personal protector actually stepped into the path of the football too early and didn't allow that ball to clear. Boy, that just creates a huge opportunity for Northern Colorado at the 36-yard line of Montana State.
Derek Palmer falls on it, so here come the Bears. First down from the 36. They don't need much to get into field goal range. Orms going for all of it, throws it up there, has a man, and ball just sails out of bounds. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, they sure didn't look like they were just trying to move it into field goal range. They were going to try and get it quick again, as they have, you know, consistently today on the change of possession. They have tried to get their man Davis over the top.
So the incomplete pass sets up second down. It's a good idea. I mean, Davis has been the big play guy for them all afternoon, and he's accounted for a couple of quick strike touchdowns. So they were going to go for all of it on first down. Second down, coming down to the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. They'll keep it on the ground to Harris. Harris is met right at the line of scrimmage. Give him 2 on the play, and it's 3rd and 8.
Well, it's going to bring up a big third down here for these two ball clubs as we get into closing minutes of this game. Watch MSU hole there initially, but boy, it closes down in a hurry as Grosselak and the rest of that front Minter come and logged in on the bottom. That's guys getting into great run fits.
Schreibeis, Preston Gale, Cosme Pico have all checked in on 3rd down. Crowd on their feet. Big play here for both teams. Pressure by Ogden. They throw it out there, incomplete. And a big assist to Dan Ogden, who absolutely put Orms on his backside right as he was delivering the football.
Yeah, Ogden makes a hit, forces Orms to get rid of this a little bit before he wants to, and that causes the throw to be a little bit behind Harris, who was open in the flat. But now it's 4th and 8 and decision time for the Northern Colorado staff.
Well, you have to figure out of field goal range.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna go with the punt here. Pooch punt, maybe, you know, you could see fake here. If you're MSU, you've got to play this safe, which they are. They've got their regular defense is on the field. They're gonna play fake and hope for punt.
Delay of game. Offense number 37. 5 yards from the spot. The down remains 4.
So that'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, maybe if you've made the decision to punt the football here, you're going to want to give your punter just a little bit more room so he can try and pin that MSU offense near the goal line.
Cameron Kamen is the punter. That clock is definitely beginning to be a factor now as we wind down to the 8-minute mark of the fourth, and now it's a battle of field position for both teams. There's the numbers for Kamen today, or on the season rather, just under 40 yards per kick.
Sean last Saturday, but these guys today, I think, doing an excellent job.
Oh, here's the kick that's going to come down and hit right at inside the 10-yard line. Now takes a bit of a Montana State bounce. And they'll spot the football at the 13. 8:14 to go, fourth quarter in a 2-point game in Bozeman. Montana State holding on to a slim 2-point lead with 8 minutes to go in this one. They give us to Palmer. Palmer's got some room to the outside. Up over the 15, close to the 20. Wrapped up and taken down hard, but a 6-yard gain.
Boy, nice job by CJ. You know, these guys, these two backs for Montana State have continually complemented each other as he's a little banged up and leaps off the field. But boy, not much there really, but he does a good job. He's got all by himself at that point, but, you know, 8 yards, maybe 7.5, 8 yards, that's a nice first down pickup.
And Cody Kirk is in the backfield for the first time today. Cody has seen limited playing time.
Yeah, it looks like that Cody is going to be in there with, as Palmer leaves. Looks like Lorenzo Davis is getting his hat on and may be back in there, but Cody's going to make a nice run. Looks like he's going to be very near the first down.
Got it to the 24. Got a good spot, and that'll be a first down for Montana State. Cody did a nice job sticking the helmet in there.
There's not a lot of deception with Cody Kirk. He is going to come right at you and challenge you every time. And watch him as he comes right into your living room here. He's just going to turn it up and lay it on you and see if his best is good enough to beat your best. He's a kid with a huge heart.
Yeah, and that was a big run. So first down from the 24. Clock continues to run. Here's Davis. Davis tries to get outside and nothing doing there. Good job that time by Seth Lobato, I believe. And McGee rolls right, looking, still looking, and now just throws it away. Takes a pretty good shot at the end of the play, taken out of bounds hard. It'll bring up third down.
Well, Nick Hernan out of bounds.
More important for Northern Colorado, stops the clock, so 6:18. Bears have 2 timeouts remaining. The Bobcats have just 1. Remember, they burned 2 early in the third quarter. So third down call now for McGee in this Montana State offense. Shovel pass. And here's Davis. Cuts up side of the 35 to the 40. Still on his feet. Davis at midfield to the 40, to the 30. Foot race to the end zone. Davis, 5, touchdown Montana State. Wow, what a play by Davis.
That is just a monster. It looked like third down and 11. It was going to be try to pick some up. They run the little shuttle underneath, but boy, there's some just great blocking at the end of this play, but early on, it's all Davis. He breaks 3 or 4 tackles up here. Look at that right there. Boys, 2, 3, there's 4. Then he moves this thing upfield, but watch if you can see it, the block he gets by Mr. Touchdown, Julius Lloyd, helping out with an upfield block. Boy, Lorenzo Davis, big answer for MSU.
Big extra point as well. Cunningham's kick is up and good. 6:03 to go in the 4th. Montana State ups the lead 37-28 after the long touchdown run by Lorenzo Davis. What a sensational run that was.
Yeah,
I don't know how many tackles he broke, but
I'm going to have to check with AJ to see if that qualifies as a big play, because he said that would be the key in the beginning of this game. And boy, I think that there has been none bigger than that so far.
Gunn's going to bring it out from the 10. He's got some running room. Flag comes down, and Gunn tripped up just over the 30-yard line.
Boy, Gunn is dangerous back there. He had 161 yards in return against Eastern Washington last week, but I think this one is going to come back.
It is. It's against Northern Colorado.
On the return, blocking it back, number 26 on the return team. We'll go half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, that end zone's a long, long way away for the Bears in this 2-possession game.
Well, here as we get another look at the touchdown, you can see they got a little X game. They catch him in up front, and boy, just underneath and makes one guy miss. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that is great effort. A good play call, well executed, but a lot of effort that time by number 8, Lorenzo Davis.
Here's Orms on the quarterback keeper, and he's tripped up. Picks up 3, maybe 4. And Montana State will be more than content to give him that kind of short yardage the rest of the way out.
Yeah, he's just, he is a run threat. They've known it all along. He's done a good job today with the little ball fake inside, and he just turns it up. Schreibus is there. Did let him get to the outside, but chased him down for the 7-yard gain.
Here's Arms up across the middle. He's got his man Davis at the 20-yard line, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down. So they go underneath to Jace Davis, and Jace will give the Bears a first down.
Boy, Jace Davis, he has been impressive today, hasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he has. Made a couple of big plays. But they need offense, and they need it in a hurry. Here's Orms underneath again. And that time it's Matt McDonald with the catch.
Yeah, McDonald coming back. He was out earlier this season. They had him back last week, and I think that's the first time that he's caught the ball today. But as you said, I think if you're MSU, you're going to be pretty content to have that stuff underneath, and particularly underneath and in the middle of the field so the clock keeps running.
Hand off to Harris, who has running room over the 40. Harris with a first down to the 45. Now, you want to give him yards, but you don't want to give it to him that fast.
No, you really don't. And look at that, just a huge hole up the middle. Harris does a nice job of getting up into the hole, but you know, he's into the safeties before anybody touches him, and aggravation of the injury that's been hanging with him the last few weeks. But he is going to get up, leave the field under his own power, no limp there. So get healthy enough to get on the field and contribute.
First down from the 44. Here's Orms feeling pressure now, fires out there. He's got Davis, and Davis gets out of bounds alertly at the 47-yard line.
Well, these two have been on the same page all day, really all season if you look at the stats. But Orms, whenever he gets in trouble, he looks for number 40 or 25, Davis, and boy, he has answered the bell nearly every time today, bringing him up with a short 2nd and 2.
Orms pulls it back, looks across the middle, now has Harris, and Harris with the first down as he takes it down to the 36-yard line. And of course, in the college game, what they'll do, clock will stop until they move the chains, and then it'll start again.
And you can see they're going to work that underneath, because MSU in a prevent, if you will, where they've got their linebackers deep, but now the ball's in your own end of the field, and you've got to tighten up and not give them those free ones in the middle of the field.
Orms looking for Davis at the 15, who was wide open, just simply overthrew him. Second and 10 on the incompletion from the 36. Orms looks across, has a man, and that's Walker at the 25 of the first down, all the way down to the 23-yard line. So a nice job by Walker, not only to make the catch, but to get the first down and then get out of bounds.
They have been very successful in bringing Walker underneath the formation. There you see it, he comes all the way from the left side, all the way across the field, ends up running outside on the other side, but he looks to be a little hobbled too as he goes to the sideline.
I was going to say, he didn't look too good.
Little hitch in his get along there.
A big hitch in his giddy up. Look at Orms, 17 of 29 for 321 and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Here's Orms, got a little running room, now throws an incomplete at the 12-yard line. Second and 10. Ball's on the 23-yard line. Here's Orms. Now steps up in the pocket, throws an incomplete. And had no choice there. Good pressure that time for Montana State. John Ledette is there.
Good pressure up front, and also behind it, they kept those linebackers shallow. They didn't bring them on the blitz, and they took away those crossing routes, forcing him to kind of try and flick it out at the end of that, save the sack and try and get out to his man Davis, but nothing doing that time.
3 receiver set. Looks, throws, fires, and this is caught at the 10-yard line. Oh, what a huge catch out there and a first down.
But who good throw and catch.
Here's Orms, throws across the middle for Davis. Tried to run with it before he could bring it in, so the incomplete pass will bring up second down. Well, if they score here, Mike, they have 2 timeouts remaining. Montana State at the very least is going to have to pick up 1 first down, maybe 2.
Yeah, they're going to have to move the chains at least once, probably a little bit more, depending on how it would play out. But if you're Northern Colorado, you want to get this as quickly as possible. But you can see after the end of that, his #1 target, Davis, was a little hobbled and has left the field. So we'll see where he goes now.
Chris Morris checks in. Orms with plenty of time now throws into the end zone, and this is caught for a touchdown. Chris Morris, his first catch of the day, and it's 6 points for the Bears.
Well, that's a big step in front and make this for a pick. He goes up and just unable to come up with it.
Boy, he came down hard on the right side, and he's down.
Well, that's as a defensive back coach, you tell those guys, if you're going to step in front and try and make that pick, you absolutely have got to get the football. Otherwise, you can see what happens.
To tack on the extra point. Kick is up and good. So with 3:10 to go in the fourth quarter, don't go anywhere just yet. This one far from over. Montana State holding on to a 37-35 lead with 3:10 remaining. We mentioned the Bears.
We'll see what they do. It'll be interesting.
Well, you really roll the dice, Mike, because if you don't recover the onside kick, you're in terrible position, in field position. Even if you stop Montana State, you're capable of a field goal.
That's their final timeout.
Yeah, well,
this game.
You talk about the weapon that Jason Cunningham is, and that's one of the things that you've got to take into the equation in making this decision. Yeah, but 3 minutes has been a lot of time for these guys today, particularly with, as you pointed out, the 2 timeouts. So I think I kick this deep, or maybe you go with that same squib to take away the potential of the big run. Gilbert busted one early on him that cost him, so we're about to find out.
So here we go. They'll kick it on the ground. Hits a Montana State player, but Shane Robinson alertly falls on it at the 45-yard line. That could have been disastrous for Montana State.
Yeah, you see there's so many different methods of the onside kick. That time they just tried to hit it right at him, man, and you hopefully get a good bounce.
Should I pass the ball up to you?
And look how it turned out. Egg on my face again.
Here's McGee, pulls it down, and he's in all kinds of trouble now. Throws. Actually had a man open inside the 50. That was Robinson.
Yeah, a little bit surprised with that call, coming out throwing the ball when you'd expect them to try and burn a little clock here. And again, with 21 of 33, and he's had at least 3 that he has bounced off his receiver's chest that should have been caught. So just another big game for McGee.
They will stay on the ground to Davis and Arenzo. Breaking tackles, very close to a first down. He'll be a couple of yards short.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've seen. He showed us a great combination on that last big run of power and the ability to make people miss. And again, you see it here, a shorter version, but just as important to bring them up into a real convertible 3rd and 1. And as you said, game winner.
3rd and 2 for Montana State. Bleskin goes in motion. The give is to Davis. Davis is going to be hit right at the yard marker, driven out of bounds. Spot looks like he might have just enough for the first down.
Well, I'm going to go take another stab at it and say that he does, Chris, because he makes a good finish at the end of this run. Watch him drop his shoulder and drive for that last yard, getting him just inside the 45-yard line for the first down.
And the clock
sure has.
Well, you go back to the touchdown run, and now that huge first down. Davis hit way behind the line of scrimmage. He'll be taken down at the 50-yard line. That's a loss of 5.
We got Denarius McGee getting up late from that one too, but just a swarm of Northern Colorado Bears coming upfield on this one. Got to take that a scary situation. Not that Cody Kemp isn't probably the most capable backup in the Big Sky, but at a time like this in the game, you don't want to get that new center quarterback exchange and possibly come up with a fumble to give the opponent an opportunity.
Look at Arenzo Davis.
I think that they're going to end that, and Davis again with yet another big play in the closing minutes of this football game. He has been amazing in the fourth quarter.
He is no question the MVP of this game today, especially in the fourth quarter. And just look at the running.
Get behind another great block by number 57, Dennehy. You know, we've said it countless times this year. He came in the season, was supposed to be a backup. With the injuries to the 2 guards, Ta'anu and Burbank, he has been an every game starter, hasn't missed many plays at all, and boy, he has just done a great job.
Well, nothing Northern Colorado can do now as Davis takes it. He burns off a few more seconds. That's pretty savvy, heads up.
Yeah, pretty savvy, boy, but he's banged up. Get down.
Well, it'll be interesting to see this week what the status of McGee is. And we don't know if it's the same sore ankle he had before, if he re-aggravated that, or what, but he took a pretty good hit on that last time. Second down, Bobcats go into that victory formation, and the dejected coaching staff up here in the box for Northern Colorado. Boy, give them a lot of credit though, huh? What a great game they played today.
Out, and I'll tell you what, showed a ton of character for a team that is really trying to get over the hump and get, for the first time, their second win in the same season in the Big Sky Conference. They have had 3 heartbreakers already this year where they have been knocking on the door and just to come up a little bit short and not able to finish it. But this program is not where they were, Chris. They are not the cellar dweller or the bottom feeder that people want to talk about. They've got a solid football team, a solid program that's getting better every year.
They're coming. It's going to be another tough loss for them to absorb, but hey, you know what? Great job by Northern Colorado today, a good accounting of themselves, and they'll come up a little bit short again, but boy, watch out for this team in the weeks ahead and on into next season. So Montana State, they dodge one here this afternoon. They hang on to win it 37-35. That's your final score as they go to 4-1 in the Big Sky. Now 6-2 overall with 3 games remaining. And it is going to get interesting from here on out. We'll be back for the post-game.
All right, Coach. It wasn't always pretty, but it was effective. A 37-35 win in the end. How important was it for you guys to get this win, especially after last week?
Well, we needed the win desperately, AJ, and I can't say how much more about our players, how hard they played, and how much they wanted this game. And even on the last drive, I mean, our defense is thin. We got guys banged up, but they battled and made that drive take a long time, which gave us the opportunity to run out the clock.
What does it say about your team that, despite falling behind 3-0 in the turnover battle for this game, that you're still able to come out on top of the win?
Well, our offense did a really good job today, AJ. We executed extremely well, got points on the board. Every time we didn't turn it over, we scored. And I guess if you can do that, that's that's the reason why we were successful. But we've got to protect the ball better. I mean, it makes it too easy for the other team.
4-1 in the conference, Coach. Congratulations. That was head coach Rob Ash. Chris, back to you.
Well, AJ, that's just it. 4-1 in the conference. I don't care how you cut it up or how you look at it. A win is a win. They'll take it. And it's just another week that goes by that perhaps the football team can get a little healthier.
Yeah, I think it's a win that you got to be very proud of. AJ said wasn't always pretty, but great football games aren't always pretty because you got 2 sides that are going to be very competitive. I can't say enough about Northern Colorado. I think they have just really risen up, and I have a lot of respect for that program, and they're going to keep fighting. But MSU showed just as much, if not more, character today, bouncing back from a big loss where they had a lot of chances today where they could have turned and folded, but they just kept fighting back.
Yeah, no question. So Montana State gets the win. Next week they'll be in Pocatello to take on Idaho State. That game will be broadcast on Altitude. Then we'll be back with you on November the 6th for the Montana State-Weber State game as we close out the home portion of the 2010 fall schedule. So that'll do it from Bozeman at Bobcat Stadium. Thanks so much for watching. For all of us on the Max Media Bobcat Game Day crew, have a great weekend, everybody. Until next time, so long.